North Korea's dear leader is dead at 69. Kim Jong-il leaves behind a torn and bleeding nation with hundreds of thousands in gulags, hundreds of thousands more dead from starvation, and a nuclear weapons program controlled by hardline generals. The question now is whether there'll be a smooth transition to his youngest son, Kim Jong-un, or will there be dangerous instability across the most heavily armed border on Earth? The ABC's North Asia correspondent Mark Willisey looks back at the life of one of the world's most cunning and cruel despots.
He was deified as the dear leader, revered as the son of revolution, and venerated as the ever-victorious general. From birth, Kim Jong-il was groomed to rise to the top of the brutal personality cult started by his father. The ideals of the socialist struggle were quickly devoured by their ravenous lust for power. North Korea was established as a socialist state, but it became a hereditary dynasty. Socialism is dead in North Korea. It's now about the Kim family clinging to power. From the moment Kim Jong-il was born, his life was subsumed by party propaganda. It was said he was born in a log cabin on Korea's most sacred mountain, but it's more likely he came into the world in a guerrilla camp inside Russia in 1941. Short and pudgy with bouffant hair, Kim Jong-il would grow up in the shadow of his father, the eternal leader Kim Il-sung. But by 1980, the younger Kim was effectively running the parliament, the party, and much of the military, revealing that he could be as cunning as he was cruel and as brilliant as he was bad-tempered. There were some very high-ranking prisoners put in the labour camp with me. There were even cabinet ministers sent there by Kim Jong-il, all because he thought they didn't properly follow his instructions or philosophy. To Kim Jong-il, everyone was disposable. For 3 years, Jung Kwang-il was imprisoned in the living hell of North Korea's Yodok labour camp. He witnessed executions and endured malnutrition. When he was released, he weighed just 36 kilograms. We were treated more cruelly than animals. From 5 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night, we were forced to work and slave. We were fed tiny rations of corn and salty water. Many people died of malnutrition. It's estimated that up to 200,000 North Koreans have been imprisoned in camps by Kim Jong-il. By the time he took over from his late father in 1994, the whole of North Korea was a gulag. Within years, hundreds of thousands would starve, victims of crop failures and the policy of feeding the army first. As Kim and his cronies lived extravagantly, a whole generation of children would be left stunted and sick, barely breathing emblems of the planet's most paranoid and unpredictable state. But without the support of his former Soviet benefactors, the dictator's regime soon began to teeter. So Kim Jong-il was forced to reach out to old enemies. In exchange for aid, he promised to scrap North Korea's nuclear weapons program, a vow he couldn't or wouldn't keep. Then in came a new US president. Out went the policy of engagement.
North Korea is a regime arming with missiles and weapons of mass destruction while starving its citizens. States like these and their terrorist allies constitute an axis of evil.
George W. Bush even mocked Kim Jong-il as a pygmy. In 2006, the diminutive dictator shot back at Bush, testing a nuclear bomb and firing a long-range ballistic missile. In 2009, North Korea detonated a larger nuclear device and fired more missiles. Kim Jong-il was never interested in either peace or reconciliation. Yes, he was interested in unifying the two Koreas, but only in terms of the North absorbing the South. He only ever cared about keeping his own regime from collapsing. With his fellow axis of evil dictator Saddam Hussein swept from power, Kim Jong-il became the iconic despot.
I don't have any weapons of mass destruction, okay, Hans?
Then let me look around so I can ease the UN's collective mind.
Hans, you're breaking my balls here, Hans. You're breaking my balls.
Appearing as a petulant puppet in the hit film Team America, Kim reaffirmed his role as the world's most odious dictator.
Congratulations, Team America. You have stopped nothing.
But Hollywood satire could never compete with North Korean propaganda, like the official report that Kim once shot 11 holes in one in a single round of golf. Now it's likely the golf clubs will be passed on to his third son, Jong-un. Virtually unknown inside his homeland, Jong-un is now being lionised as brilliant comrade. We know little about Kim Jong-un, but it's clear there'll be a collective leadership in which he'll share power with the military. But the dynasty cannot last. Sooner or later, North Korea will collapse. And that collapse could send millions over the border into China and even South Korea. The government in Seoul fears the cost of absorbing the North could be more than $1 trillion. But for North Koreans, the cost of maintaining the Kim dynasty is certain to be paid in yet more of their blood.
Mark Willesee with that report.